Hey everyone, I'm Pam, owner of GVST Wellness in St. Clair Shores, Michigan. We are a whole body, as in physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and energetic wellness center. We like to say we're a spiritual YMCA. Like, we have fitness classes such as step aerobics, Zumba, and yoga, but we also have tarot reading and astrology classes. We have one-on-one services such as massage, Reiki, and mental health therapy. What is unique about us is that our class packages and membership cover fitness classes, but also group therapy led by our resident therapist. When we said whole body wellness, we meant it. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at GVST Wellness or check us out at gvstwellness.com. Lastly, a huge shout out to our community at GVST Wellness. You make us what we are. And thank you to our sponsors, GVST Social Media, and our wonderful recording studio, Probably Awesome Records. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy this episode.
Hey, Katrina.
Hi, Miranda.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Super.
Awesome.
Katrina, what do you do? Who are you? Tell me.
Oh, I'm so glad that you asked. I am a therapist, and I own Now Next Therapy, and I work out of the GVST Wellness Center.
Excellent.
What about you? What do you do?
I am a photographer, and I have my own business, and I also teach classes at GVST Wellness, and I take a lot of classes at GVST Wellness. Speaking of classes, I took your class last night.
How was it?
Fantastic. Loved it. Used my book today.
Great.
Yes.
Real quick, what's the name of your business?
Oh, my business? Sorry. I get easily sidetracked. My business is Inner Circle Photography. Like inside the box, outside the circle. Nope. Inside the circle? Yeah. Whatever. Opposites. It's fine.
Okay. And how can people find you if they want to find you?
Ooh, I'm on all social media platforms except TikTok. I'm not on TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok either.
Oh, twinsies then. It's cool. You can find me on like Facebook and Instagram, all by searching Inner Circle Photography or my own name, Miranda Hopkins.
Awesome.
Yeah. What about you?
I am also on some of the social medias. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. And you can schedule individual sessions with me, or you can sign up for a group class or a workshop through the GVST Wellness website.
Ooh, nice. Are you so excited to be you have an office inside the space, correct?
Yes, I do.
How does that feel?
It's pretty amazing. I really like it. I like using the big space for groups and the conference room for workshops.
Nice.
And then I love having an office that I can shut the door.
So good.
There's chairs in there and candles and
setting the mood to get your therapy-izing on. How would you call it? Therapizing? Therapy?
I call it practicing therapy.
Practicing therapy. Your word is so much better than my word. That's fantastic. So let's talk about how you found GVST.
Okay. Actually, it was from you.
Oh, me. That's right. Yeah, you're welcome.
I signed up to take an iPhone camera course. And oddly, Pam was sitting next to me through the whole class. And at the end of the class, she asked me, does my face look like somebody that is someone who is familiar to you?
Pam asked the best questions.
And I was like, no, it doesn't. She said, you used to work with my mom. And then I knew I used to work with her mom. And so I had kind of known Pam before, but it was 15 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
So it's different to see her all grown up and doing grown-up business and owning her own business. It's pretty impressive.
That's awesome.
And it's really nice to be able to be a part of it, growing and expanding.
That is so great. How random is it that you decided to take one of the classes that I was teaching and she was in that class? And it was her place. How cool is that? Oh, it's like kismet. That's what they call it, right? When it's meant to be?
Yeah.
You were meant to come to the class and you were meant to like meet up and tell her about your life and that you are a therapist, and she was looking for a therapist, correct?
She was.
How awesome.
That night, she showed me my office and asked me when I could start, which I was not expecting. But yeah, serendipitous kismet.
Oh, that is awesome. That's really cool. It's funny because you knew Pam in her past life. I knew Pam in her past life. We went to high school together.
Okay.
And we were on tennis together. And yep, I got a really mean backhand. Like, it's excellent still to this day. But I can't. There's no eye-hand coordination anymore.
No.
No, not anymore. Yeah, so I was on tennis with her, and that's how we knew each other. But I always thought that, like, maybe I was mean in high school. So I thought maybe Pam didn't like me. Also, she was younger than me, so I really thought she didn't like me. Or maybe I was too good for her. I don't know. One of those things. And so randomly, she, like, popped up in my feed. I think maybe Jessica York, it was her. She posted something about GVST Wellness. And I was like, oh, what is this? So I looked into it, and I saw her in the pictures. And I was like, oh, my gosh, I went to high school with her. And then, like, I went to a class and stuff like that. I met her, and she was like, oh, my gosh, Miranda. And I was like, hi, you do remember me. Awesome, great. Was I mean to you? And she's like, no. And I was like, fantastic. Love it even more. Let's carry this conversation on.
What was the first class that you took?
Oh, gosh. I actually don't remember the first class I took. I just remember going to their open house.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, I'll take pictures at the open house. And she's like, you're a photographer? And I was like, yes, I am. And so I like weaseled my way in that way. And then she's like, you should teach classes here. And I was like, I'm going to teach classes here. Oh, I remember my first class. It was with my friend Heather. She was teaching a class on something with like holistic seasons or something like that. Like, in what is the spring equinox or something like that? Like that face that you just made, that was excellent. I think that's what it was. It was something like that. She was teaching something, and I was like, I wanted to support Heather in her classes, so that's what I went to.
Okay. When you said seasons, I was thinking garlic, oregano, parsley.
Seasons. Not things that you spice up your life.
So, as a photographer, what would you say is your ideal client?
Oh, snap. My ideal client? Someone that wants to be photographed? I mean, I don't know. No, because even if someone doesn't want to be photographed, I can still make a really great picture for them. I have no clue what my ideal client is.
I think it's really cool just in looking at your blogs and your website and seeing the people that you work with. You can see that you take people's like senior high school photos, and then maybe 10 years later, you're taking pictures of their kid as they go to see Santa the first time. So it's neat that you don't just take pictures of people, you build pretty substantial relationships with your clients.
Yes. Thank you for noticing that. That's also why I named my company Inner Circle Photography and not my name. Nothing wrong with people who have their name as their business, but I didn't want my business to be about me. I wanted it to be about my clients and me being a part of their inner circle. You know, like when people get married, they're like, this circle represents, you know, the infinite amount of love and things like that. And it's never ending. Well, that's like me, photography wise. Like, I'm never ending in your life, basically. I can photograph all the things, watch you for each milestone. It's fun. But also I really love capturing emotions and connection between people. So, okay, go back to your question. What is your ideal client? People that have connections and emotions. I love photographing the interaction between people.
Okay. What do you remember your first client?
Oh, Snikey's first client. I mean, I was in high school.
Oh.
And I was a yearbook photographer. So technically my first people that I photographed were like sports teams and stuff like that. And also like people interacting in the hallways and stuff. And I love that. From there, I got hired to do a wedding. So that was probably my first big thing, was a wedding. And then from there, it was like families and like maternity things. And when my husband and we got our first house, I remember he built me a studio in the basement. And so I was doing lots of green screen things. And so I was constantly like taking pictures of little kids and like placing the backgrounds in and stuff like that. And then I realized I did not like that. But I think it was probably weddings and then probably like a senior family. Those were like my first clients.
Okay. And then do you have a favorite event that you like to get asked to do pictures?
I feel like in my early days of business, I would explain myself as like a wedding photographer. I'm a wedding photographer. I don't see myself as a wedding photographer anymore.
Yeah, that's not really your passion anymore.
No, not at all. It does, obviously, I feel like it starts from there, but it's not like my overall thing that I go for and try to get. So I want to say like anything that has like a lot of people together.
Okay.
Like a lot of corporate events, like when people are like all gathered together for like their corporate company party or whatever, that's lots of fun. Any kind of like anniversary party or birthday parties, like a kid's first birthday party, that's fun too. I like people. I like people. I like documenting them.
Do you use film anymore, or is it all digital?
I sadly do not use film. So when I started, I was a film photographer. My first wedding that I did, Adam, my husband, came along with me, and he was in charge of changing my rolls of film.
Aww.
I never brought him back to another wedding with me again. I love you, Adam. You're great. But like, I just was like, nope. I was like, nope. Nope. I'm good. I'm gonna do this myself.
Do you take an assistant with you when you go?
Yes, sometimes I do. Sometimes if a client hires a second photographer, then I'll bring someone in. But most of the time, I'm just shooting by myself. In the days of technology, though, especially with like reels and social media and stuff, you kind of always want someone there with you so they can document the behind the scenes, which then it's funny because they typically give it to me and then I do nothing with it. I need to take Pam's Instagram class that she teaches. And also I need to go to more of the Sundays, what is it, the social thing? Oh my gosh, what is that class called that they do on Sundays, like once a month?
The tribal?
No, this is like you can go and like be creative with each other and like talk about different things that you can post and reels and stuff like that. So content corner. It's called Content Corner.
Yes.
It's called Content Corner. All right. Let's ask about you though. When did you get started in therapy?
I have been working in the mental health field for about 20 years, off and on. The thing that lit the passion for me was as a victim advocate for the Department of Defense. I worked at Sulfridge in Harrison Township with when they first started this sexual assault response program, so in the early 2000s, and I did a lot of training for the military members there, and it just kind of uphill snowballed from there. Wow. And then started with Pam in the fall of this year, and have been building that way since the fall.
That's so good. So I knew you were a therapist, and I knew that you were going to school because we knew each other from outside of GVST.
Yes.
We met at a scrapbook retreat because I'm a scrapbooker. Are you still a scrapbooker?
Yes.
Okay, nice. Katrina,
Thank
way
you.
to go. Still being, well, actually you are, because you brought the stuff last night when we were decorating our like bucket list books. That was fun. Thanks. So yeah, that's awesome. We met there and we didn't really talk a whole lot because you were with your friends and I was with my friends. But then I think you added the three of us, two of my friends, on social media.
Yes.
And then that following year, like, I got off social media. And I think you got off social media at one point. No, you didn't?
I was waiting for you to come back so that I could continue following you.
I love it. Thank you so much. And then I think I started posting about how I was going to teach that class, the iPhone camera photography class.
Yep.
And then I wanted to take it.
And I did. And yes. I learned how to use my iPhone camera.
I'm so proud of you. Yay.
Thank you.
Yay. But also we meet up on Fridays. Well, we used to meet up on Fridays at the coffee shop and do meal planning things.
Yeah.
Which was fun. Thank you for that random invite, by the way.
Thanks for coming.
You're so welcome.
That is one of the items in the bucket list, the mini bucket list challenge workbook.
The bingo part?
The meal planning.
Oh, the meal plan. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right.
It does kind of look like a bingo board.
Well, I mean, yeah, that little square piece, right? Okay. But also you have a whole section for meal planning.
Yep. It's a whole month of challenging.
Yeah, that's awesome.
that one came because one month somebody challenged me one year to make something different every night for dinner.
And did you actually stick with that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
it was
impressive.
March. And so all 31 days was something different. The only exception, we would have the same kind of meat, just styled differently.
Yeah.
The big seller for our family was the salad buffet one night because I was running out of things to make for dinner.
Oh, gosh.
So we got a big bowl of lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers and carrots, and then tortilla chips and a can of beans and smoked sausage and bacon and corn and just anything that was kind of still in the refrigerator towards the end of the month. It just came out, and then it was a salad.
I feel like that'd also be called like a garbage can salad bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
And that was a big hit.
I'm really proud of you for like actually sticking to it.
Thanks.
That's awesome. I can't wait to go through the bucket list and like actually stick to things for like an entire month.
So the thing that, do you mind if I tell you about this?
No, tell me.
Okay, the thing that led to that was I had about 4 or 5 months where I felt like I was watching other people live and do things, and I was just kind of existing. I was going to work, I was coming home, I was taking care of the kids, I was doing like wife stuff, laundry, just kind of, I felt like I was in a rut. And so then I decided that I would start saying yes to challenges and accepting invitations as they came to me.
Nice.
And I posted about it on Facebook. And so every month at the beginning of the month, I would ask my friends what challenge I should take on for the month. And so I did things like a yoga class every day for a month. I ran a 5K every month.
Wow.
Because I felt unhealthy. I felt stuck. I felt bored. And I also felt like I was both too young and too old to feel that way.
Wow.
Like I was too young that this was going to be the rest of my life living that way. And I was too old that I could use like my kids or my husband's job as kind of a reason for why I was acting that way. So I just did challenges.
I think that's really awesome and very epic of you because like you actually did something about it.
I did, and it felt different and it felt great and it was really exciting. And so I don't do New Year's resolutions anymore. Now I look at them as challenges that I want to take on.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2023, my challenge for the year was to reduce our family's carbon footprint. And so we looked at things like our food waste and the way that our food comes to the table. So we started buying more produce that was local and organic.
Nice.
And grass-fed beef and grass-fed chicken. What else? Oh, laundry soap. I used to use the liquid laundry soap.
Yeah.
That's in a plastic tub, and now I use the powdered soap that is in a cardboard box. Gave up dryer sheets because those create plastic waste.
Wow.
And I switched myself from a shower gel to a bar soap just to reduce packaging and bar shampoo and conditioner, or shampoo, not conditioner.
So you use bar shampoo on your hair?
Yes.
Wow, impressive.
Thank you.
Very impressive.
I do, and then my daughter does also. But the men don't. It's not for them. It smells too girly.
That's funny. I think that's really cool. I know that there's a place in St. Clair Shores that offers where you can bring like a jar in and then you can take it there and like get it refilled and stuff like that. I've always wanted to look into it, but I've never done that.
Can I tell you something about that?
Yeah.
So every month at GVST, anytime you attend a class or a workshop, or if you schedule therapy with me, or you go to group therapy, or if you go to an event that is held in the GVST building, right when you first walk in, there's a little jar. And anytime you go to a class or workshop or attend an event, you can put your name in the jar for a drawing.
Nice.
And in January, there's a the drawing is for a gift card because Pam likes to support local and small businesses in the St. Clair Shores area. So the business this month is that place, and I cannot think of what it's called right now.
A refill and
I think it's Refill Emporium. I think you're right.
I don't know. I pulled that from nowhere. So
that was fantastic.
Was pretty good. Pretty good.
But right now, the January gift card is a gift card from that place. So if you want to try it, maybe you'll get to win it.
Nice. It's funny because like whenever I go to classes, I never put my name in that drawing ever. I would just walk right past it.
Last night was my first time putting it in the drawing, and I don't think I remembered to put it in.
No, Pam put it in for you.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Pam put it in for you. She's like, I'm putting your guys' names in. I was like, yeah, okay. I just like blew it off. I was like, nothing. And then you saying that reminded me that that's what it was for.
In December, it was the spa place where they have the salt soak.
Yes. Actually, I just floated there. That sounds really weird to say. I just floated there, I'd say a month ago, because I was at the last end of cycle of my hair dye. So I was like, okay, I can finally go float now because you can't contaminate like the water, and like hair dye contaminates the water. Oh. So they say like if you've dyed your hair in like the last 6 weeks, you can't come in, or I don't know if it's 6 weeks. I might be making that up, but I'm just saying. Like I always go in at like the tail end of
I can just never float in there because I'm always adding color to my hair.
You're like, I'm constantly. It's great. It's fun.
It never looks like it. It's always kind of the same shade of 2 or 3 different colors, but I'm always adding color to my hair.
I feel like while we were meeting on Fridays, like one Friday you'd have one color hair, and the next time it'd be like a little more purple or a little more black. Mm-hmm. Yeah, fun. I like it.
Thank you.
It's very nice.
It's working for me.
Obviously, it's fantastic.
So I was wondering if there was ever a client that you had as a photographer that is somebody that you would not work with again. And you don't have to drop names unless you really want to. Because you're 1-star review as a client.
It's crazy. I often get that question, but I never have an answer.
Is it because you don't have clients? You don't take clients that become 1-star clients?
I feel like because when I do weddings, obviously the couple's interviewing me, but I'm also interviewing that couple. Mm-hmm. And if I feel like we're not going to be a good match, then we're not going to be a good match. Even if they want to hire me, I'll pass on it. I'll be like, I'm sorry. Like, I just feel like we're not going to be a really good fit. Like, you should probably book somewhere else. If it's like a family member that comes to me from like a client and they're like, hey, photograph. Okay, great. We might not mesh on like the same level, but like it doesn't make them a bad client. It's just obviously like there's not enough time to get to know each other, or like you're just not my type of person. Like that's it. I don't really have any horror stories or anything like that. Like no bad clients. I mean, of course, there's been a few that just annoy me. But I'm sure I annoy people too. So, like, it is what it is.
Impossible.
Like, you say impossible, but that's very sarcastic.
I think it's great that you are confident enough in not only in yourself as a professional, but in the reputation of your business, that you know that you can say no to clients and that it's not going to ruin you as a business.
Yeah. I mean, I've never always been perfect. I've never always been. That sounds weird, but I've never said that I'm perfect. I've never said that I know how to run a business perfectly. Like I've done stupid things. I'm still, learning every day. I've had some clients that were very unhappy, for things that I've done or things that they've done, and they just blamed on me. But like, they're still good people. Like it's just, we had a bad experience. Mm-hmm. Like simple as that. I think Pam had asked us like, what was there a time in your career that was rewarding to you? And it got me thinking about like times in my career as a photographer. My business has been around since 2002 till now, and like things that have been like rewarding to me. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So I could go on about the fact that like I get to travel for work. I think it's amazing that like I've got to do weddings in like California or Florida or New Orleans. I've done engagement shoots. How amazing. Yeah, I just had some really epic things, and like getting to go to Florida and doing like a Disney wedding. Like I love Disney, and so like to go there and do a wedding, it's like, it's a dream basically. Like those are rewarding in like that way, but also like I love my job because it gives me the freedom to be who I am and also like live my life the way I want to live it, which means like if I don't want to work a certain day, I take that day off. If I don't want to book anything, I take those days off. My husband and I, we had an exchange student from, was it August 22 till like June 23. And during those 10 months, I was able to slow down on work. Because I wanted to spend time and like be a mom to her and take care of her and make sure that she was having a great time and giving her all these amazing experiences. Did it hurt my business? Probably. But my clients that I have, like my client base, understood what I was doing and they were cheering me on. And I think that's awesome. And from there, when she left, right back into business. Boom. I may have had like the busiest season that I have had from June until December. Over my 20-some years of business. Wow. Was that stupid of me? Probably, but it was fun, and I had a great time, and I took some amazing images.
Do you have a favorite picture that when you think of taking pictures, that's the first thing that pops into your head?
I always have this one image, yes. It was from probably 2002, 2003. And it's with my first digital camera, which was like a Coolpix Nikon camera, which like it would look like a square, but then it turned and then you would shoot through it. I don't know. It was just very interesting. And my little cousin was on a bounce house and she had her hands through the mesh net and she was leaning in and her eyes are so big and so beautiful. And I took a picture and like that in my mind was always me going, that was a great picture. It captured the moment that was happening. Was it with a crappy camera? Yes, but still, it was a great picture. And like, that's what I go to when I think of like, I captured the moment. And that's what I go back to is that one. There's a picture that I took of my grandpa in his garage. He was a car repairman and he worked out of his garage. And there's a picture of him sitting in a chair in his overalls or coveralls, whatever they're called. And there's like a tower of beer cans behind him and he has a hat on and like his hands are so dirty and like I snapped a picture of him and like that picture to me is capturing like who he was in that time and like I love pictures like that. I've been really blessed in my career where I have photographed some truly amazing moments, like pure happiness, and then some really sad, sorrowful moments. People's last family sessions in their house or at Disney, their last family trip together before someone had passed away and stuff like that. And I'm able to be there as an outsider and capture those precious moments between family members as an outsider, even though I might know these people and I've gotten to know them through the years and stuff like that. I just think it's amazing. And for me, even those moments are rewarding to me. Like super sad, obviously. I cried on the way home from each of those things. But like in the moment that it's happening, like I have to be photographer Miranda. I can't cry. I can't show any emotions. I have to be in the mode of like business person and like all my emotions go in a tiny little box. And then when I leave there, then I can just let them all go. So I feel like there are super happy moments and then there are super sad moments. But to me, like they're all rewarding. And like to pick like one picture to like, oh, that's really hard. But like I feel like the picture of my cousin in the bounce house, like that was my first time when I was like, I love this. This is great. I want to take more pictures like this.
There it is. There's the picture.
Yeah, exactly. Capturing like that moment in time. I think it's awesome. I used to tell my wedding clients, I was like, I feel like I'm a classic wedding photographer, but also I'm a documentationer. If that's a word.
Documentarian.
Documentarian. That's the word. Fantastic. Way to go. Way to go. We're
documentationer.
Words, people, words. Where I want to capture the moment for what it is, but also I want you to look back at that picture and like feel the feels from that day. Where like you're having a fight with your husband and you're like, oh my gosh, I hate you. You're screaming down the hall. And then like you stop in front of your wedding picture and you go, oh yeah, that's right. We do love each other. Like that was a moment in time where like we were in pure bliss mode and like this is what we were trying to achieve in our lives. And here we are and we're fighting over something so mundane about who let the garbage out. Like who's supposed to take it out. And like for me, like that means a lot where my pictures can bring people back to like happier times and moments. So
yeah.
What
about
about
the
you?
record, it's a man's job to take the trash out.
So says Katrina. Good job.
It's their thing. They love it. It's their favorite.
I think so. Yes. Perfect.
It's a passion project, really.
Excellent. All right. What about you? What's rewarding to you in your business, like in your line of work?
I love when I'm working with somebody and you get to see that moment where you might have the same conversation with a client week after week for weeks or months, hours and hours and hours, where they say the same thing and you say the same thing and the words don't change. And as a therapist, I understand where we're going because I can kind of see the bigger picture. And you see things from the outside, I can see things from the outside too. And I don't have an emotional connection to the cause of somebody's trauma.
Yeah.
Where I might have my own traumas, but they're removed enough from a client's trauma that I can see the outside and the bigger picture, the bird's eye view.
Mm-hmm.
And so having the same conversation with somebody week after week, the words don't change, the message doesn't change. And then one day you just see it click for the client where they understand the things that you've been trying to say and the message that you've been trying to convey. And then they get it. And it's almost like, okay, I'm done now. I don't need any more therapy. Thanks. And that is a really powerful moment between two people to be able to share where you worked really hard, both of you together, and you get to that point together, and then they get to move on and they get to go do something else and you get to go do something else.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I really enjoy. And then I also like seeing the way that the weight of a trauma changes when you take it out of yourself and you share it with somebody. Then you're sharing the load, you're sharing the weight, and the words take up less space with somebody. The more times you share your trauma with somebody, the less of the burden you have to carry by yourself.
Yeah.
And that's something that took me a long time to learn just for myself. But the more times I speak about the things that I have been through, the more times I share them with people, the lighter they become for me and the smaller the words become, the less power the words have. And being able to share that time and that space with somebody is really empowering for that person because they get to experience what it's like to go through something with somebody and not feel like they're completely alone. So I really enjoy that.
You made me tear up a little bit from that. It's just because I know, because like I've been in therapy for a very long time for my own randomness, right? But like hearing you say those exact things, I often wonder like how my therapist feels about it. You know, like do they ever think, like, do they go home and say, oh my gosh, here she was again talking about the same thing, and I feel like I'm telling her on repeat over and over again. But no, you just repeat, you said it to me, which made me then realize that no, it's me who's not getting it. And like once I will get it, that light bulb will go off and I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's going to be okay. Like, it's all right. Like, I can feel these feels. I'm allowed to. I should not be holding this burden on myself because of these things.
Well, and it feels different too. You might share the same story with your therapist week after week, but the things that you're feeling might not be the same every week. And the way that you're feeling, the feelings might be different. And not that it's not frustrating as like a mechanic who is changing the oil and you're constantly like leaving the lid off the oil pan. And so you're bringing your car back to the mechanic like, I don't know what's wrong with it. It keeps running out of oil. It's the same problem and it's the same thing, but the experience is different. And it's the job of a therapist to have that same conversation in different ways or in the same way. When I was going through therapy one time, I had been seeing this poor woman, Phyllis, twice a week for quite some time, and she changed my life because when I finally heard what she was saying to me,
Yeah.
even though it wasn't any different. And then she said, "There it is. You just got it." She said, "I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw you get it and you understand." And I was like, "Oh,
All right.
there it is. I got it." Okay.
That's so
Bye.
awesome. Did you always know you wanted to be a therapist? Like
No.
that you wanted to go in this line of work?
No. When I graduated from high school, I went into the military, and that was my career.
Did you think you were just going to be in the military like for your life? Like that was it?
How my husband says it is, I'll stay as long as they'll have me.
Okay.
And so that was kind of my plan. Like, you get a paycheck, they feed you, they tell you what outfit you're wearing that day.
Done.
If you need to wear a different outfit, they'll tell you down to your socks. Like, it's very simplified for you, and I needed that at that point in my life. But the military that I joined was not the military that I understood it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big transitioning time for the Army. And my career was shorter than I planned on it being for several reasons. And after I came out of the Army, I saw a need for change and reform and compassion. And I never wanted anyone to feel the way that I felt in sharing experiences about my time in the military.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I felt. I felt very alone and isolated, and then removed and humiliated in speaking about some things that happened when I was in the military. And I knew that I was right and that I had the right to talk about the things that had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I never wanted anyone to feel like they had to go through things by themselves, or feel like by sharing their story they would have an example made of them.
Yeah.
And it was just, the Army experience for me was very eye-opening and softened me to people in a way that I didn't expect. And so after I got out of the Army, it took me a long time to get my bachelor's degree. It took me 13 years.
Hey, but you did it.
I
You
sure
did it.
did. Yeah. And then I just continued to study psychology and forensics and then social work. And that's kind of where my passion lies, is military trauma, military sex trauma, and then trauma recovery.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a journey.
Yeah, it was a long journey.
Hey, but again, you made it. And now I feel like it must feel so, I mean, I'm assuming it must feel so great to like know that you're making an impact on people's lives.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And that's my goal.
Nice. Okay, so what do you see for the future of your career? And like, what do you see for your future at GVST? Like, what, both things?
So GVST my goal is to build my individual therapy practice and continue to do trauma recovery groups and workshops. I'm now raising teenagers, so
Fun.
we have a lot of conversations that nobody had with me.
Oh, yeah.
Starting much younger than I think most people realize. You can have conversations with your kids about things like understanding what consent is, and even the legal ramifications of violating consent.
Oh, yeah.
Because people often don't realize that you can be a 16-year-old and you can be charged as an adult for a crime.
Oh, jeez. Also, I feel like younger kids nowadays have to be spoken to about certain things that we never had to be spoken to. Like I didn't have social media growing up.
Nope.
The internet was like just being created in like like we had a family computer in the kitchen, and I was only allowed it for certain hours, and like got to dial into AOL and stuff like that. And like now it's instant. You have a phone, you have it in your hand. They have it in their rooms alone.
Absolutely.
So like you're having these conversations with your children early, which I think is fantastic, because the more you speak about it, the more they know about it. But like you're having to have totally different ones that you were never prepared for, because you didn't have to have that talk had to you or anything like that.
Absolutely not. And I have a 14, almost 15-year-old son who has discovered the WWW, and he loves the World Wide Web of information that's in his little tiny hand. And so it's really important that people who are 13, 14, 15 understand the legalities of having images on their phone and then sharing images on their phone. Yeah. And email, and the internet is forever.
Yeah, and messages, and what you message, and who you send it to, and oh gosh. There's so much. I could just go on for days about that.
I know. Right there. It's a whole other podcast.
So much. So needless to say, all right, so you see your practice growing, which is awesome. I think that's amazing.
Second to that, I do see myself going back to work with the Department of Defense.
Oh, nice.
My dream job would be a sexual assault response coordinator with the Department of Defense.
Nice.
It's something I work on and apply to.
That is a goal.
Constantly.
Like, reach for it. Yeah, get that.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I'm after it.
I think it's really great, though, that you're starting like this, though. Because I feel like GVST Wellness, like I feel like to me, the reason why I started going to is because I was looking for something that would still be a community to me, even when like our exchange student had left, to where like I could make a new group of friends and like, and, immerse myself in this world of GVST and all the things and possibilities that it could hold. And like, that's what I was really looking forward to. So I think you coming into it, especially with your like therapy practice and stuff like that, that you're able to bring that into the mix as well and have to meet all these amazing new people and help them.
The thing that I love about it is that Pam gets excited over ideas that people have.
Yeah.
And she invites you to share your ideas with a group.
Yeah.
And then she says, hey, you have this idea. This person has been looking for your idea.
Connecting it.
And
I love that.
So I was not planning on going into private practice or building a private practice, but Pam invited me to have an office space, and it was not an opportunity that I could say no to.
Yeah.
There was no reason to say no to it. And I'm grateful that I was able to say yes at the time.
Yes.
That's just fitting.
Awesome. That's so awesome. I love it. So I had hopes that me going to the open house with my camera would then lead to maybe me doing something photography related with Pam and GVST Wellness, which then led to me photographing the Rise conference that she did, the Rise and Shine one that she did. And then that also led to me doing the iPhone class, which I had never taught a class before, but she was like, no, Miranda, you can totally do this. You can teach this class. And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, you can do it. I believe in you. And I was like, okay, Pam believes in me. Let's do this. And I did. And it was so well received that we did a second one. And then I also went on to a different company and I did a class with them.
Oh,
doing
did
this.
you?
Yeah, which was amazing. And like, it's very awesome. And I know that we'll have it again this year, like me teaching it again this year. But like, I was so scared to like put myself out there. And like to have the community rally around me and be like, no, you can do this. Like, I believe in you. Like Pam, especially, like, I believe in you. Like, I didn't realize how much I needed that. And I missed having that. So it was great to see it. But also too, being able to then do 2 headshots, like days where we like photographed a bunch of different ladies.
Here was my favorite part about that, because you did my headshots that day. So I think there were 6 people that day that I did it, and we all paid for somebody to do our makeup.
Yeah.
And then you did Pam's. And she had a shirt on under the shirt she was wearing that she just took off and had this shirt on. She had no makeup on. Her hair wasn't done. And her pictures look, the confidence in her and the brilliance in her and the excitement in her is the same. It's the same level in her pictures that you'll find in the ones that of us that we had planned it. We picked out our outfit like 4 days ahead, and we had somebody do our makeup.
Yeah.
And it's the same energy and the same excitement. She's there for it.
She totally is there for it. People always say to me, they're like, well, I don't want family photos. I don't look good right now. And I'm like, but you look how you look right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's capture who you are now in this moment. Like, you're not always a done up mom. Like, you don't always have makeup on. So why do you always have to make up in the pictures? And I'm saying this for someone who isn't a mom. I obviously don't know. But like, I want to photograph you, who you are. I want to photograph you in this moment of time. You don't need to lose that 20 pounds. You don't need to lose whatever, because you may or may not do it. And I don't want you to wait until that day, because that day may never come. And you may not have any pictures then of yourself with your kids or with your husband. And like, that saddens me, because I want to photograph you for who you are, with makeup, without makeup, with a certain type of clothes on, without a certain type of clothes on. Like, I want to photograph you and being person that you are. And so for you, I know you were talking about Pam and like how amazing she is, which she is. But like, for me to hear that from you, what I'm hearing is that you can see someone who is done up to the nines or to the T's, whatever it's called.
I think it's the nines.
The nines,
it's a
okay.
number, probably.
All right, to the nines. And then you have someone who just walks in and is like, all right, cool, let's do this. Like, I got this. I can photograph both worlds, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love it, because your pictures are amazing. Like, everybody else that they are amazing. Everybody else that I photographed that day, they're beautiful. And the ones from a month before or whatever were great too. And I love all of them. And I love the fact that you come in and you're so nervous and you're like, well, what's this? I'm so scared. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, it's cool. I'm a goof. Hi, I'm Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm weird. Let me photograph you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm strange. It's okay. But also I'm creepy, but in the nice way creepy.
Yeah, but like creepy with a camera.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be edited out.
Nope, keep that in. That's great. Needless to say, I just think it's really awesome that for a career that you didn't know you were going to have, you now have a career that you love.
Mm-hmm.
And as a high schooler who didn't really know what they necessarily wanted to do with their life, but knew that they wanted to photograph people, to doing what I love doing, like, I'm very happy in life.
That's
that
good.
like, and then we also get to share this part of our life with GVST Wellness. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. It's been really fun and really amazing. And even though I didn't know that it was something that I wanted to do or that I was going to be able to do, it's something that I'm really grateful that I've been given the opportunity to do.
That's so awesome. Okay. So, I don't know what time we have or whatever like that. But
fine.
What'd you say?
We're fine.
Okay, cool. Because Pam did have one thing on here that said, if your anxiety was a sound, what sound would it be? Did you read that part on?
Yeah.
Do you have a sound? I just really want to hear if you have a sound. If not, that's fine. You don't have to share it with me. It's your own personal thing. But I just was curious.
I feel like it would be a mix of like somebody just grabbing a big sheet of aluminum foil and just wrinkling it up.
Ooh.
And then also somebody chewing really loud. And then
I thought that would just be like an annoying sound. I didn't know that was going to be like a...
It really makes me uncomfortable. And then a dog just...
Like a dog panting? A dog
cleaning
growling?
themselves.
Licking.
Just like,
licking.
Man, why are you doing that? And then
Katrina.
also, I would also like to add just a random ticking in the background somewhere where you don't really know what it's coming from. You don't know if it's a drip. You don't know if it's ticking. You don't know if it's something tapping. Is something stuck and they need help?
Oh, because
Is
you have
it
all the questions.
a clock?
Okay.
That would be the sound.
Those are really great sounds.
Thank you.
And not actual really great, but like your description of all those sounds in my mind, I was replaying them, and those would give me a lot of anxiety. Mm-hmm. Mine basically is like a wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo noise where I'm like, it's like the womp, womp type thing.
Okay, like you hear it in the background.
Yep. Where it's like, maybe that's why, like, earlier when the noise was happening, I was like, oh, that's happening in the ears. Like, that's where my anxiety was coming from.
Much.
And then in the room yesterday, I was like, oh, there's that echo, like, it's happening. It was probably me being anxious.
It makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, the wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo noise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that would be
the
my
end
sound.
of the world coming to.
Yeah. That's good.
So do I get to ask you a question now?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Were you able to think of a great meal?
Yes.
Okay, I would love to hear about it.
Okay. So I had asked you this yesterday. Did it have to be a meal that I cooked or that was made for me or that I just want?
I feel like it would be a meal that you would sit down and eat and enjoy and be able to just enjoy the whole thing.
Okay. So I'm probably going to pronounce this incorrectly, but my husband and I, we went to Belize in 2020, and we had the most amazing, like, Belizean street food.
Oh.
And I crave it all the time. So it's sabutes.
Oh.
Which is like a corn flour. So like the mesa flour, deep fried. Like mixed with water and deep fried with a little bit of flavoring. I can't think of what the name of it is. But it's topped with grilled chicken and like a pico de gallo with like jalapeno like slice. Oh, God. It's just so refreshing. And like I literally Googled it today to be like, that's what I would eat. And I found a recipe for it. So much so I'm going to make it. It's probably not going to be the same because it's not going to be like on the ocean or whatever. Or sea, whatever it is. But that is the food that like I would love.
That's what
you
would look forward to.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, yes. What about you? Do you have one?
Funny you should. No.
Way to plan this.
So for me, a really good, like a prime rib.
Oof.
Probably medium.
Oof,
and then a roasted potato where it's really crispy and also tastes like butter, but kind of maybe some garlic and chives in there also.
Nice.
And
do you have that with like an au jus sauce or with the horseradish sauce?
Both.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because good. I do like horseradish. It wasn't until I was in my 30s that I realized that I really enjoy spicy food. I was just afraid of them.
Yeah.
So now like things like horseradish or a spicy chicken sandwich, I do enjoy.
Nice.
And then
that sounds
a
so
Caesar
good.
Salad with some croutons.
Yeah.
And
freshly grated parm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Tell me when to stop. No, just keep going. Just keep going.
Yep. Say when. No, there's no when.
No when.
And then chocolate cake for dessert with the fudgy chocolate frosting.
Oh gosh. I didn't know we were going to desserts too. I thought it was just like you did say meal. It's my own fault. I don't listen when anybody talks. So I was going to say when you speak, but when anybody
just
does.
Specifically when I hear your voice, it goes,
No. Wow, that sounds delicious. Okay, if I could go for dessert, I would do dessert first. Straight up, dessert first.
Okay.
And like my go-to dessert would be vanilla ice cream dipped in cherry cone dip.
Okay, like at Dairy Queen?
Dairy Queen doesn't carry cherry cone dip anymore. Don't get me started on this.
Dairy Queen 3 years ago?
Dairy Queen from when I was in high school and I worked there for a million years. Yes. That is like my go-to. Like that is my absolute go-to.
Mm-hmm. There's something in that dip that's just really the texture of it and
so good. Yeah. So
the way
good.
It clings to your teeth.
Oh my gosh. It does. Oh yeah. Oh, I feel
it's so good.
It's so good. Yep. Really, the reason why I had to leave yesterday so quickly because I knew that Wally's was open, and I wanted a cherry dipped something cone before they closed. And like I was like, no, I gotta leave. Bye.
I gotta go.
I literally ran. I
have 12 minutes. I need to get there.
Do you need any help carrying this? Because I gotta go. I have somewhere really important to be. It was to go get ice cream.
Oh,
Adam, don't listen to this. I did not get ice cream last night. I totally got ice cream last night.
Husbands don't listen to podcasts.
It's fantastic. Cool. All right. How do you feel we did today?
I think we did pretty good.
Think we did all right?
Yeah.
We talked about good stuff, right?
Yeah, we talked about our careers.
Yes.
And food.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite color?
Oh, yellow.
Oh, that's right.
Yellow is my favorite color.
Mine's purple.
Love purple. You do wear a lot of purple on your eyes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
Your hair was purple too.
Dark purple.
Oh, purples, yeah.
Like that wall right there is a great purple.
It's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very nice. No, I'm a yellow girl. People often think that blue is my favorite color. It's not. I love blue on my body.
Yeah.
But my favorite color is yellow.
It's just your hair has blue in it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's your favorite color.
No, it's good. It's good. Cool. All right. Thanks. That was great. I had fun. Are we done?
I don't know. I hope we get to do it again.
I don't know. Pam's never going to want me back
Pam's
ever
like,
again.
We can't use any of this. This is garbage.
It was so good. Are we done? Are we good? That's good. Fantastic. Way to go. High fives.
Don't
yes.
clap. You're going to reset it.
It's so loud.
Now we have to start all over again.
Strike that. Take 2. Okay, all right. Take 2. Got it. It's good.
Thanks again for listening. Follow or subscribe to get notified when new episodes come out, which will be every 3 weeks. If you're in the area, stop by GVST and check us out. Have a great day and be safe.